All right, with that intro, a little bit of a teaser, I'd like to welcome Kim Calhoun, which many of you already know. She is one of us. She's been coming to 1 Million Cups for the 3 years that I've been involved, and actually formed one of her companies largely from our community. So we're extremely grateful for Kim, and eager to hear about her new adventure. Nick Paleveda is joining us for the first time, tax attorney by official training, so might be good to catch him afterwards and then specific tax questions, I don't know. Anyway, because of his passion for finance and wanting to help educate us on how to do things maybe a little bit better, he got the idea in his head to start Money Masters. From that, with Kim's influence as well, and then hanging around here, the Frontier and in the Triangle at large, became fascinated with also the startup community and what opportunities exist to maybe put a spotlight on that under the umbrella of what they're doing now. So with that, Nick, Kim, please join.
Thank you. Hello, good morning, everyone. It's so good to be back here again with Million Cups. I love this program. Thank you, Carissa. I love seeing all the familiar faces when I come back, and I absolutely love to see this grow the way it has. Anyway, what we're going to do is, go ahead, you want to kick off our show,
Does
Nick?
this bloody thing work?
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay.
Go ahead, Nick.
All right. Well, she lets me talk. You guys are in deep trouble. Okay, first of all, let's show from where we started and where we're going. We started 2 years ago with a television show, which right now runs on Biz TV Network. It runs on about 47 stations around the country. It was it's called Money Masters, based on financial literacy, inspiring financial fitness. It's 3 days a week on nationwide TV, locally at WBX in Durham. So, and we interview a lot of great CEOs. We interviewed a guy named John Scully. Does anyone hear of him? Okay, you guys know this guy? Okay, I know John, but I wonder if you know. Anyway, he was one of the CEOs of Apple. A gentleman you don't know, probably Alan Truffler, the CEO of Pegasystems. Okay, people don't know him, but his net worth is $2.5 billion. Go ahead and Google him. Anyway, but his company's great, called Pegasystems. Then we also interviewed the founder of Napster, John Fanning, the former Comptroller General of the United States, David Walker, and a host of other really great people. Even one of the founders of Indiegogo was on our television show. Kim dragged me to this thing called CES. I am not a tech guy. Okay, I can tell you that right now. I'm a tax attorney. I'm a professor at 2 D1 universities. I teach at Northeastern University in Boston. I teach at Campbell Law School here locally in Raleigh. Tech, no. Law, yes. So she dragged me to this thing called CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, and introduced me to, what do you call them, engineers?
Well, a lot of engineers, the startup community of the world.
Okay.
But one of the things that Nick found that he truly loved was all the inspirational passion that startups have and the drive that they have. And you saw this in startup land when we were at CES, and he got very excited and said, wow, this is amazing.
That's because they're doing interesting things. Law is boring. I can tell you that right now. And accounting and tax, forget it. You guys will all go to sleep tomorrow. So let's go to the next slide.
Wait. Before we get started, okay. This is how Nick and I met. I met him at a PBS hackathon. I am an engineer by trade. And I was wondering, what is PBS doing hosting a hackathon? And I met Nick there, and one of the most inspirational things I learned from Nick is the way he plans things. He had this book laid out, and he goes, I want to do this TV show that's about financial literacy, teach people about how to become financially fit, and it's not boring. Because it's always boring to people.
We don't do boring.
We don't do boring.
By the way, if you have a boring product, you will not be on our television show. But no, you guys have boring products. So.
But one of the things that caught my eye was the list of people he had that he was going to interview. And I go, do you have them lined up yet?
No.
They're in a picture book. And he's got them all listed like it's already a promo.
Do I know them?
No. So I'm like, okay,
just
yeah,
a
right.
Dream, baby, that's
just
all.
A dream. Dream big, right? There's John Scully, Alan Truffler, David M. Walker, one of my favorites. And
John Fanning, the founder of Napster.
Yeah, John Fanning.
He was a tough one to get, by the way.
That was my draw. But he goes, no, I'm going to get him. And I go, okay. So one of the things I learned was how to plan through Nick. I've always knew how to plan, but he dreamed big and planned big. So he called me a few months later. We stayed in touch, but you called me one day and you said, you know what, in 2 weeks, I'm interviewing these people at Campbell University. Will you be on my show? And I'm like, I don't do shows. I don't like cameras. And he goes, well, you'll get to meet John Fanning, Alan Trefler. I go, okay, I'm in. So since then, we've been together, having a lot of fun. But one of the things I like about this is what we learn from each person that we interview. We learned that it wasn't an overnight success. That some of these guys worked for 20 years. That they worked hard. They put a lot of passion into it. They made a lot of sacrifices. And that's something that you have to understand, that it's just not wake up today and have a dream. You have to plan it. And that's what Nick does 24/7. We plan our dream. We plan what we're going to do, who we're going to interview. And so here we are today to talk to you about what's going forward in our new TV series that we're planning called Startup Masters.
Can we move to the next slide?
Yes,
I'm really
go
big
ahead.
time ADD. If it's 5 seconds or more, I'm out.
Sorry about that.
Let's
Go
go
ahead.
take it to the next one.
So these are the people we interview.
These are all the people that interview. If you go to Biz TV Network, and you can register if you don't get WBX locally here, which you should in Durham. But if you're outside the area, I live in a country club down near Pinehurst. I have to subscribe, and you'll be able to see all our television shows, including a group with the Federal Reserve. We got an exclusive 5-part interview with the Federal Reserve. Kim goes, hey, we can go interview the Federal Reserve up in Chicago. I said, great, I'm all in. So we flew to Chicago and did a whole 5-part series with them.
They actually shut down the museum.
They shut down the museum, and
so
David Walker actually flew in, the former Comptroller General of the United States, who's been on one of our previous shows to also be in the interview. So let's move on, because we want to get to startup now.
Right.
That's something exciting.
So
Let's go to the next one.
go to the next slide.
Next slide, please.
So some of our exclusive interviews, keep
Federal
going.
Reserve, keep going. Federal Reserve's boring.
So,
This is exciting. Stop right here.
Who is
This
Startup
is where we
Masters?
are. This is where we're going. Startup Masters. And Mark brought in the introduction of what's changing, the future landscape.
Okay.
It's something that you need to know about. M&Ms, right? You all have M&Ms.
that's
right?
my favorite candy.
No, it isn't. It's called money and marketing. This gentleman here has a great product, and he gets super funded. He has a lot of money to fund it, but he has no marketing. This product will fail. Doesn't matter how good your product is, it'll fail. This person over here has a horrible product, but he's got great marketing. He'll be successful. His company's called Microsoft. Think McFly, okay? I mean, the thing is, it's the marketing that makes the difference. So all you entrepreneurs know, well, I mean, look at Word Perfect versus Word. Let's not even get into that debate because there's no debate there. Okay, but the thing is, look at what you have. If you can blend money with marketing, you'll be successful. And so what we did is we created a show called Startup Masters, and I couldn't hire Mark Cuban. I tried, but he's too expensive. So we brought in somebody that has more money, more clout, more recognition than Mark Cuban. Who could it be?
And great personality.
And great personality. It's a bloody computer. That guy over there is artificial intelligence. He's an IBM WATSON. So the thing is, we have replaced Mark Cuban with IBM WATSON, and he's the one who's going to be interviewing the venture capitalists and working with you as a subject matter expert. Forget Mark Cuban. We don't need him anymore. Our draw is IBM WATSON, and IBM locally was very good to support us in this endeavor. But we brought in more than that. And this is the reason when we met with CBS, they said this is Shark Tank 2.0. You go see Shark Tank and you saw this thing called Ring, and you're all familiar with it, right? Nobody invested in it. All the venture capitalists go, we're not going to invest it. You've probably seen those guys. Not interested in your product. Why? A, their pockets aren't as deep as you think. Number two, they want a lock. They want to make sure they win before they lose. The guy went down, couldn't even get $700,000, but he sold it for $1 billion. Called Ring. We all know that. But we're all locked out. You can all watch the show, but can you invest in Shark Tank? No. Until now. The Jobs Act of 2012, which Mark described with regulations on May 16th of 2016, allow you now to invest. So our show is going to do this. We're now going to bring in AI. We're also going to bring in you as the investor. So when you go watch the television show, you can just press the button and poof, you can invest through crowdfunding.
Okay, Nick.
Okay.
Take a break.
And
Sit down.
then I will take a break. By the way, that's one. We have him replacing Mark Cuban. 2.0, we have you now participating as opposed to not
So let's take
participating.
a sneak peek. I promised you guys a sneak peek at who IBM WATSON is. We recreated WATSON. WATSON now has a new name, and let's go and see. I think it should be
See
next
if we
time.
can run the roll.
See if it'll play. Thank you. Hopefully you can hear it.
The files and media, I think. That part we won't hear any sound. Yeah.
By Gary Kasparov in this position, the computer admits defeat. Deep Blue has instantly sacrificed the knight captures E6.
Watson, what is narcolepsy? You are right, and with that, you move 36,000.
So our promo reel doesn't have any voiceover just yet. We're still in the makings of this, but what we're trying to introduce to you is some of the great and fantastic things that IoT is doing, and introducing to the world artificial intelligence and how it's designed to truly enhance our lives. And we're bringing on board IBM to help us do this, because what's great
of IBM's WATSON Internet of Things offerings. It's just an exciting world that's taking place about taking physical devices, things that you use in the real world, digitizing them, and having that data be things that you can create all kinds of excitement and new use cases around that enable people to be more safe, more secure, or to have different business outcomes around the use of these devices. We call that the Internet of Things, taking physical devices and connecting them digitally to the electronic world.
Thank you, Chris, for that wonderful explanation of Internet of Things and how it ties into the world of artificial intelligence. My primary role with Startup Masters is to be subject matter expert. I am trained to answer questions about startups and market trends. I will also gather data from various elements during the show, from the conversations between Kimberly, Nick, Chris and the startups, and provide feedback in order to enhance their abilities to make better choices.
Hi, my name is Brock Feldman. I'm from Salt City Ventures, and our team has participated in over 700 campaigns to help startups get the funding that they need.
Hi, I'm John Fanning. You might know me as the founding chairman and CEO of Napster. What you probably don't know is our family. We're also the founding investors in Uber.
Hi, I'm Manny Fernandez, and I'm so excited about Creating Dream Fund. It allows entrepreneurs to raise money from investors, and we are doing very well. And I'm looking forward to helping many other entrepreneurs raise money.
My name is Jason Frischman. I'm the founder and CEO of Net Capital. Net Capital is a website that lets you buy and sell stock in private companies and startups that aren't yet available on the public stock exchanges.
Startup from the Netherlands. It's called Mind Effect. A great computer interface, which is now specifically designed for helping people with ALS
By the way, that's a real prank.
to communicate.
Simple technology. I really like the simplicity of the insight, and the intention is to help people that are really needing it. So I can work on beautiful technology, and the downside of this case is that I'm helping people that need it. And then further on, the ability of us humans communicating with computers directly through our brain, I mean, it gives endless possibilities. And so it's exciting.
It sounds more like the scientist and not the entrepreneur.
Well, it just happens that it's still a bit of both.
I am Frederic Dayan from Nice, France. I am the CEO of Exactly. We leverage artificial intelligence for personalized health.
My name is Daria. I'm from Bright Technologies, a Ukrainian startup. We're making the first industrial connectivity drone for crop dusting.
It doesn't go well, you don't get a deal, you don't get a term sheet. That doesn't mean that it's over. Just having that conversation and having that relationship is positive, and maybe the next time or later down the road you come back with momentum.
Someone like that might come to us even a couple of years later, and we know her and we're impressed with her, and we want to give her and empower her the opportunity to do her next startup.
I think a lot about things in entrepreneurship. It's like, then for a moment, I had this small robot when I was young, and I turned it on, and it went hit the wall. But it was smart enough to not just hit the wall, to take it out, hit another wall. And then it was smart enough, kind of like artificial intelligence, to not hit that wall, and to turn around and find out what happened. I'm telling you, that's what entrepreneurship is about. Being persistent, hit a wall, to go over that wall, under that wall, around the wall, and to keep going, because you learn by each time, just like this. Right? You know what things do? Right?
At least with God's things.
So there, I don't know, is this working? Okay, so there you have the quick promo for Startup Masters. What we want to do is bring the startups into the world where we can inspire more positive thinking, get people more engaged, the public to understand how to invest, bring in some of these very intelligent people and help mentor. As you can see, these people are eager to get out there and help work with us. And we want to introduce this and make it engaging for the public so that the public can get out there and not just learn about it, but to engage and invest. Right, Nick?
That's the
And
main
that's what working with Mark Easley is going to help us do, is we're going to bring these startups onto our TV show. We're going to work with Mark Easley's group and companies like that. We're going to bring the venture capitalists together with the startups, and we're going to help promote this. And the reason is, like, can we go to the next slide real quick?
Next slide, please.
This is startling statistics.
Oh, this is horrible.
We forgot 2 minutes. So
2 minutes, okay. Here's one of the problems that you guys may or may not know about, is the amount of venture capital and where it goes. You'll notice everything goes to Silicon Valley. They have 40% of all venture capital. How about venture capital here in Raleigh-Durham? 0.84. You're not even 1%. So if you're having a hard time raising money here, 0.84%. And by the way, this came from an article. This is nationally published, so you can go look at the article. I fell out of my chair. I was going, no wonder startups aren't doing well. Now, what's happening? Democratization of capital. When you run through a television show and you run through crowdfunding, you get to get capital all over the United States. In other words, you basically flatten Silicon Valley because you can have them invest here as well as here invest here. And you don't have to worry about the 0.84% statistic. So that's what Startup Masters does. It allows media. The reason people want to be on Shark Tank isn't just to raise money. Even if they don't raise money, the media exposure makes their company successful, plus the ability to raise money and the ability to raise it nationwide, because if you're in Raleigh, they're under 0.84.
So also we found out that about 80% of the startups that are invested in fail, and investors know this statistic. And we want to change that a little bit. I'd like to see 80% survive.
Well, yeah, part of the reason you fail is you don't have marketing and distribution and exposure. If you don't have that, like I said, you have a great product, but it doesn't matter if no one knows anything about it. Forget it.
And understanding your finances and having a good mentor group. And that's what we want to change. So we're going to bring that in.
Why don't we move to Q&A here?
Okay, so let's
I think we're about, oh wait, last thing about
these,
Startup Masters before Q&A.
Go one
Let's
more.
go back to the last one.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
All right.
Okay, so this is what we need. This is our ask. Is one, get out there and help promote us so that we can continue promoting the startups. So go to our Facebook page, Startup Masters TV. Go to our Instagram, go to all of our social media, LinkedIn, everything, and help like us and promote us and push us. We'll keep pushing this as well. We need sponsorships, we need startups, and we need some additional skill sets to work with us. We're still seeking out some skill sets in the local area to help us do some of these promotions and doing the admin work. But let's open up for questions.
Yeah, before we also go into questions, just a little thing to give you an idea how fast this thing is expanding. We're already starting Startup Masters in India as we speak. Startup Masters Australia, Startup Masters Nepal, and Lithuania.
We can't control the email from India right now.
We can't control the expanse of this. It's like Uber, because of the demand for startups, putting them on the media and distributing them worldwide. So one problem we're having is what they call a growing problem. It's growing faster than we can actually, we can keep track of it. It's kind of amazing. We do need advertisers, what they call sponsors. We have people that want to ride with Startup Masters, which are investors. And of course, we need startups. One thing I have to do is film good startups, because if your product is boring, you're boring, the media isn't going to watch it. And CBS, who is interested in this, we're not getting on CBS or the A&E networks. Now, we already know we can put you on Biz TV. I have a contract with them. So I aren't getting on TV nationwide with Biz. But CBS and the A&E networks are a whole different level, so we've got to have good starts. And we want to do everything in North Carolina, frankly, because we live here. You know, even though we've traveled all over the country to do this stuff, I frankly don't like flying to Las Vegas to film, or Chicago, or San Diego, wherever Kim takes me. So let's go. Let's go ahead to some questions. Sure.
Yes, I have some questions.
All right. No questions?
question.
Oh, shoot, I thought you were home.
I can interject, I guess. No. I was working mics. Okay, thank you. So are people mostly able to watch this on the website, or are you already on Biz Network?
We're on the Biz TV network. Saturday will be at 12:30, and Sunday at 7 o'clock.
7 p.m. It's
Yeah.
Money Masters TV.
It's Money Masters, not Startup.
We're still filming Startup Masters.
The industry is very long to build something, so we have to put a lot of content into a can before we launch on air. So that's what we're working on right now.
Have you thought about like Netflix or any of like Hulu?
So yes, we're pushing that. It just takes a while. We're starting to get attention and traction in the industry. CBS is looking for us. Thank you. Yes, I'm used to projecting as well. So yes, we have. Biz TV is where we started. Nick, you can tell them a little bit about Biz TV.
Yeah, Biz TV we started because PBS was not really thrilled with this.
Tell them about Biz TV.
Okay, I'll tell you a lot about Biz TV. Okay, you're the demographics for Biz TV, but you are not the demographic for PBS. Even though you may watch it like I do, you're not the donor. The average donor of PBS is a 67-year-old female. Do I see any 67-year-old females in the room? Anyone? No.
Raise your hand.
Okay, raise your hand. Yeah, right. Okay, so the thing is, Biz TV is a biz network. It started by the guy who started a network called Liberty Sports, which you haven't heard of, because today it's called Fox Sports. So our worst case scenario, we're going to just ride up with Biz TV. Our best case scenario, CBS is interested in taking the show. So the thing is, we go to CBS, but again, got to have a great show. It's like the NFL. If you don't, forget it. You're not going anywhere. And the A&E networks are also interested. They own the Discovery Channel, Home and Garden Network, etc. So that's basically where we are and where we're going with the networks. Netflix, how many business shows have you seen on Netflix?
Okay, one more question.
Okay, let's hear it.
We got time for one more.
Great.
No pressure. Make it a good one.
They're all good questions.
All right. Yeah, this is my brain is going in a few different directions here, but what I could see this morphing into, and it can help with your marketing and create your audience at the same time, taking the crowdfunding concept, you can become like a startup mutual fund and become a brand name in and around the fact that you can not only get people to put money in, but they also are now looking at your content with extreme interest, and you can rewrite the entire
ecosystem.
Well, the bullshit that goes on with the way mutual funds are run, and star analysts and all these predictions and quarterly reports and all this other crap, and you can flip it up on its head and provide super quality content that's provided by real people with real businesses and real ideas that are being funded by same.
Right.
That's what we want to do.
To me, you know, you're the tax guy and the regulation guy. You can figure out a way to become that.
Right. And the thing is that we can do this on a worldwide basis. We're out of North Carolina. Can we go to the next slide, please? Do we have another?
No, I don't think we have.
I thought we had our email addresses there for the people that are interested in this, because if this is
That's
boring.
on the first slide.
Oh, Lord,
We have
sorry.
to go back. But you can go to the next one and we can show the world.
Okay. Yeah, our email address. I correspond all through email. So if you are interested in this, if you think this is boring and not going anywhere, fine, don't email it. But if you think it's interesting and going somewhere,
We
let's go
have
to
some
email.
business cards in the back.
That's me playing chess with John Fanning. John wanted to play chess. He's a big chess player.
Yes, you play it. It's
I said, John, you're never going to beat me. And he goes, well, we got to play. I said, look, I'm a 3-time Florida State champion. You will lose. And I crushed him, but that's the other story. Let's go on. Let's go.
We actually have a video.
We have a whole video on it. John is so into chess. By the way, Alan Treffler is also a very good player. So is a guy named Peter Thiel. You know all the good players.
I've got videos of him crushing a computer.
Oh, yeah, they're easy. Okay, this is my email address, nick@nationalpensions.com.
So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.